In the next 60 days, if you want your life to change, you need to get back to living life. This is the reset before 2026. We are currently in our winter arc, which means it's time to get back on your fitness, time to get back on your faith, and time to get back on your finances. Those are the top 3 things that we are locking in on for the remainder of 2025. So let's get right into the video. In order to build your dream life, in order to see the life you actually desire, in order to see yourself finish a task that you started, you have to understand the false reward system. That may look like you cooking, that may look like you doing homework, that may look like you trying to create a to-do list. In between you doing that task that takes maybe 20 minutes, it takes 2 hours because you've scrolled back and forth in between when your thoughts were kind of broken. So any distraction where you see your phone light up, or any distraction where you hear something, you get up and you look at it and you're like, okay, oh, what was I doing? Oh, I also need to do this. Oh, I forgot I needed to get that. Like, that distraction is what keeps you in the cycle of a task taking longer than it needs to. Neuroscience shows that those constant dopamine spikes are not good for your productivity. It tricks your brain into thinking that you're achieving something because you have now shifted your focus. If something you're doing provides that dopamine hit and you have not completed something, it's gonna be so hard to get anything done. The great news is that this is fixable. The goal is to retrain your brain to feel rewarded by real progress. So you have to ask yourself, what's actually making me feel alive? Like, what's something that I can do after that does not involve my device? Because if you're someone that's really addicted to your phone, and sometimes you didn't even know it until you got to the point where you were like, how did I spend an hour on TikTok when I was doing something? I can't even remember doing it. It has to look like things you're actively doing. So for example, say your goal this Friday is to clean up your entire apartment. You've been putting it off, it needs to get done. Once you finish a big bulk of it, if not all of it, that reward should be going to go get some of your favorite food and make it a movie night, or put yourself on a time limit. That's something that I know that's personally helped me. If I know I have plans at 6 p.m. and say, for example, I'm working from home, I have a couple of hours in between my time that I can start tackling away at that. So I know when I wake up, I'm gonna do this set. At lunchtime, I'm gonna chill, relax, have my brain on like chill mode, but I also know that it's gonna take me 10 minutes to fold these clothes. And then the bulk of it before you have to go to your plans gets done. That way you feel so much more accomplished throughout the day than if you would have just let the day go by and put that on you for next weekend. Number 2 is the importance of downtime. That is your mental recovery. Our brains are actively always solving and thinking about something. So say for example, we can't remember a song we thought about earlier today. Your brain is still working on that. So the downtime that you need looks like no screens, no noise, nothing. That's giving your brain an opportunity to truly rest and remember where you presently are. Mentally, physically, spiritually, like everything around you. You're like in the moment, because it's so easy for us to get distracted that things around us are happening. So like we're halfway there, we're halfway also in the next thing we need to do. So that downtime is going to force you to be more present in your life. Some of these activities will look like reflection. So that can be writing down, journaling, just like truly maybe even sitting in nature. Maybe you don't want to write about it. You just want to think, show gratitude, find ways where you can really be in a more of an appreciative mindset so that abundance starts flowing to you. And abundance looks differently. It's not just an abundance of money, like an abundance of, I don't know. Sometimes the abundance just looks like happiness, joy. That is also a way of abundance. Walking, stretching, breathing, like I mentioned before, just kind of being is the goal in downtime. This really helps your nervous system regulate, and it just makes your focus 10 times sharper. For example, I went to a park and honestly, I just brought my Bible. I'm doing the spiritual growth Bible out, and it gives me a little breakdown of everything that I'm reading, why it's important to apply it to your life so that you can be a better quality human, so that I can spread the word, spread the gospel more, show how it's impacted my life, and hopefully it helps someone else in their life. And it was honestly the best 2 hours of my life. I didn't even know I was out there for so long, but I just laid in the sun. I just truly soaked in nature. I was just so grateful that the breeze, like I could feel and recognize everything that was happening to me. The breeze was hitting my face. The sun was shining on my forehead. It's kind of hard to miss. It was just being so present in that moment for someone who's actively practicing being more present. Attitude of gratitude was flowing out your girl. And I highly recommend you build that into your week. If every day is just too much because you know you got a lot going on, pick a day where you know it's going to be a little less stress and dedicate maybe not 2 hours, but 20 minutes. Actually, I take that back. I don't think 20 minutes is enough to get fully present, because it's kind of like when you go to sleep. You're kind of sleeping, but you're not really in that deep sleep until like 45 minutes later. So an hour. And then if you decide, I kind of want to go longer, do that. You'll never regret being more present or moving your body. Those are the two things you will never regret. Number 3, because this point is so important, being present again. You can't build your dream life if you're not actually in your current one. So you know how you're always thinking about the next thing, you can't fully appreciate maybe something that you worked really hard on. It was just like, that was awesome, love it, next. You don't truly appreciate everything it took to get there. That doesn't let you realize, wow, I'm like making an impact. I can see my kids or my, interns or people I'm managing or my family. I can see them being impacted by the way that I'm showing up, by the work that I'm doing. The work that I do directly impacts them positively. Sometimes you really have to take a second and think how good God has been, because there's a lot of times where we don't even realize the moments that we came out of was all because of God's grace, and it was all because of our persistence to keep showing up. You have to notice when you're on autopilot mode, because it is so easy to get in it. Like, it's even crazier. I've heard people tell me when they're driving, sometimes they'll just go into autopilot mode and zone out. 1, that's so dangerous. So like, recognize that immediately to keep yourself safe on the road. But 2, I feel like a lot of us at some points in our life have done that. And it's not intentionally, it is just something where your brain is overstimulated and you're just thinking like, there is so much that has to get done and I don't know how to do it all. And so you're just constantly thinking about the to-do list in your head, the to-do list in your head. Brain dump everything. Get a sheet of paper and just write out everything that's on your brain. I have to go to the grocery store. I forgot potatoes at the grocery store. I need to unpack. I need to figure out what I'm going to take with me on this trip. I need to figure out when I'm going to spend time with God every single day. And if I have a busy, like, all those things need to be on a paper so that it creates free real estate in your mind for you to actually think about the things you're focusing on in the present moment. That's my theme going into 2026, is to be more present. So this is not the first nor the last time you'll hear me talk about this. It's really important because, I'm not shy of it. I'm in therapy. I love it. It is a great, even if nothing is going on in your life where you're like, I really need help with this, therapy is a great way to just vent to someone who can actually give you some advice isn't the right word. They can give you a process into why the decision you made or why you think the way you do is happening. And it really helps you grow positively if you are open. Mind you, you have to be open to hearing things about yourself you may not love hearing, to changing, to evolving. Changing is not even the best word. Evolution. You have to evolve. You cannot be the same person you were in high school, and you can't be the same person you were in college. Different seasons of our lives and different environments of our lives require different versions of ourselves, but still staying rooted and identified in Christ for me at the core. For you, you have to come into that. I hope that my channel can give you a great example of what it looks like to walk with Christ. Know that you're gonna have some really, really down bad days, but you're also gonna have some really, really great days that you just can't fathom how amazing it is. So the method that I've learned in therapy was the 5-4-3-2-1 method. You may have heard of it, but if you haven't, it's a grounding technique often used for mindfulness or if you're someone that struggles with anxiety and just being present. The purpose is to bring you back to the now. So you need to name 5 things that you can see around you. So right now I can see a balloon, I can see a napkin, I can see a Bible, I can see a water bottle, and I can see a picture frame. That's 5 things I can see. 4 things I can touch: my desk, a purse holder, a claw clip, and keys. 3 things you can hear. I can hear the water boiling for the dinner I'm about to make. I hear the cars passing by on the street, and I hear construction way down wherever it's happening, very faintly. 2 things you can smell: kind of salty boiled water making pesto pasta. I'm so excited for that, y'all. And an Amazon box, kind of like that delivery smell box. I don't know how to explain it, but that's what I'm smelling. And then 1 thing you can taste. Right now, I have the remnants of a tangerine on my tongue. So that's something that was most recently eaten before this video. It's really nice to feel that method and to have that on hand, especially when you're feeling really overstimulated, because life is overstimulating at times. And sometimes you just want to remember the moment you're in. So if at any point you feel like, dang, I just don't know why I'm scared that I won't remember this moment, get yourself back on track using that method. And then there's going to be another season in your life where something else will work, but we're working with the one that we're in right now. We'll figure that one out later. But try that out and let me know if it works for you. Number 4, be outside more. I'm grateful that I grew up in the generation where we did not have a lot of developed technology. I'm not saying it's a problem if you do, but I do do see the downsides of having more of it as you're developing as a child, even into a teenager, even into a young adult. It can make you miss out on key moments. I know for me, like, I'm a social person when I get to know someone, but it is challenging to make those connections sometimes because you're like, well, what am I going to say next? Over time, since I've gotten older, a lot of people just like to talk about themselves. So if you're struggling with that, just ask them why they do the work that they do. Ask them what they do. Ask them on the weekend, it's a perfect weekend, what are you doing? Money not involved. Where are you going? Who's with you? What kind of dogs do you like? What kind of cats do you like? It's really just a big get to know you game. And so if you downplay how it feels to meet new people, because that's really all it is. Like, everyone's a little nervous to meet someone because they're like, I don't know how this experience is going to be. But if you only come at it through a lens of gratitude, it can only be a great experience or a learning experience. I always say you're never losing. You're only learning or earning something. You're learning about something that you didn't know before, or you're earning a new experience because it turned out great. And thank God you tried it out. But being outside more, it just changes something in you. If I hadn't spent 2 hours outside today just doing nothing, spending time with God, enjoying the breeze, this is what joy is. I can't believe it's taken me this long to do it. And I can't wait to see what the consistency looks like, but I hope for you find a place safely, at peak hours of the day where you have the most time to actually be present, and understand what kind of version of yourself comes of that. Don't be on your phone, don't be scrolling. I did not spend any time on my phone outside of going on YouTube, looking up some instrumental worship music so that I didn't get distracted by the lyrics. And I was just present. I can't stress that enough in this video, how much that changes your perception, because we're always on social media consuming everybody else's lives, even on YouTube. Like, I love to watch the YouTube girlies as much as you, trust me. But I'm also in a season of my life where I want to create more than I can consume. I love creating YouTube videos. God willing, I will never stop. But I'm also understanding I need to start living life a little bit more. And I'm really excited to see what comes of that. And I'm still in my 20s. I'm closer to 30 than I am 20, but I'm still in them. And it's so exciting to know the different versions of yourself you're gonna be one day. It can be nerve-wracking because you're like, oh, what if this experience turns me into you get to create those experiences. So don't let the opportunity control you. You control that opportunity as much as you can, and you let God do the rest. Just try to be as obedient as possible. Try to seek God's word so that you can truly hear the Holy Spirit and what your next moves may be. And sometimes you may just have to move in faith and let God redirect or continue you down that path. You just never know. But you will have to start making more decisions. You will have to start being someone who is confident in the choice, even if you're not fully sure about it. You can only make the best choice with the information you have today. My parents have always told me that, and it is true. We can't think further ahead or further behind us on what the best option is until we make a choice and decide we want to do something different or decide we want to continue. So I really just wanted to start us off small, especially as we jump into the last 2 months of 2025. I already see it being transformative for every single person watching this video in the best way possible. You're gonna have a bad day, and I'm not gonna tell you that watching these videos is not gonna allow that. There's gonna come a day that's gonna be challenging for you, but you have to understand where I have started leaning more on Christ. I have seen my life, my bad days change. Now I just tell myself I may be having a moment, and my moment may have been this morning and this afternoon, but thank God a bad day is only 24 hours. Find the lesson and find the moment in everything that you're learning and earning, because I'm telling you, you start shifting your mindset to a gratitude and to an abundance mindset, it changes everything. My money is gonna change in the best way possible in the next year. Why? Because I said it. I believe it. I believe that for you too. You have to say those things, declare those things over your life, change your language so that you can change your life. That's how you build your dream life. That's where it starts. That's why there's so many videos that I make about this on the foundation of it, because if we don't have the foundation, we don't have anything. I'm gonna see 100,000 subscribers on YouTube by next Christmas. I will. I believe it. You are gonna feel so much more confident in your content creation journey because you started to pick up a camera and just post what you know now. You can only get better over time through experience. If you don't pick up that camera, it can't happen. You are gonna be 30 pounds down, 50 pounds down, 112 pounds down. You are gonna see the best version of yourself, but you have to believe it first before anyone else does. And then stay silent while you're building it up, because that's the most vulnerable stage when you're in it. That's why these next 60 days are gonna look so different in the best way possible for both of us. So believe it first. And if you stayed until this long in the video, leave this emoji so I know you're a real one. And just know these next 60 days with God on our side and with discipline building in us, there is nothing. We might have a couple of roadblocks, but good thing we know how to jump. We're gonna be the best versions of ourselves in 2026. So I'll see y'all on the next episode of Party One Podcast. Peace.